I mean, all we need is for people not to kill each other, not to hurt each other, not to steal from each other. That's basically it. All of these rules about stay off the grass and this and that, and revenue collection after revenue collection, and peace officers who have become corporate policy enforcers that simply go out and act like hired thugs of the government and force revenue out of everybody. We don't need any of this, folks. We don't need the world to be run like this. And everywhere you go around the world, you find wonderful people. You find people that don't want to hurt you, people that are quite happy to be your friend, people that all get along with each other just fine. And the only thing that ever stops them getting along with each other is the government. And the government is controlled by corporate bodies and a corrupt banking system. I mean, folks, look, it's so obvious how this world's run. And it's so obvious how to fix it, because the only reason it operates and continues along in the dysfunctional state that it's in is because we support this system. And it's absolutely ridiculous. There is no reason for the world to be this way at all. None whatsoever. And like I was saying before, it's not actually the ruling elite that are doing all of this, folks. It's us. We are the ones that are following their rules. We are the ones that are fighting the wars. We are the ones that are policing ourselves. We are the ones that are doing all of this. We are the ones that are allowing them to put this world government in place. And when I say allowing them to do it, it isn't even a case of them. It's us. I mean, these politicians, they need to wake up to themselves. They need to wake up to what they're doing. They need to wake up to the fact that they have families as well. They have future generations that are going to have to pay for the decisions that they are making now. And there's no reason for these people to think that their families are still going to be in any position of power a couple of generations from now. I mean, there's only ever been one ruling bloodline on this earth, and they've made sure that not too many other bloodlines have actually ever come into a position of power. They've been very careful the way they've done this, so we shouldn't be forgetting about that either. Folks, the New World Order police state that's being put into place, it is happening because we are letting it happen. If we wanted to have any type of New World Order at all, then I would suggest getting the wisest and most compassionate philosopher from each country and putting them on a council together to work out the best way to help all of humanity. And we could have 4 laws to govern all of humanity. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not hurt, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not make war. That's it. And all war is illegal. Anybody who wages war or attempts to instigate war goes. We go and put them on an island somewhere they can fend for themselves, stay away from the rest of humanity. That's really all we need. You see, this whole dysfunctional mess is in place, and this whole dysfunctional mess continues to lumber along in the dysfunctional state that it's in because we feed it. We drive the mechanism. We hone it, we clean it, we make sure all the wheels are oiled, we make sure the machine is running in a streamlined fashion. And we do it ourselves. Sure, there are puppeteering hands at the top that know how the machine works, and they know what they have to do to keep themselves out of the machine and to keep other people in it. They simply use the talisman for control, which is money. Money is what keeps people caught up in raping the world, raping each other, taking advantage of each other, always in a state of need and never in a state of abundance. This is money. This is what money does. Someone once said that the love of money is the root of all evil. But in reality, money is the mechanism that is used to perpetuate evil upon the world. Money is a talisman, and it is a tool for control. It is used to control and enslave vast amounts of people by convincing them that they actually need this stuff. And all it is just paper. In many countries now, it's actually plastic. It's not real, folks. It's just stuff we pass around to each other. And it's used to keep us out of the state of abundance that all of mankind should be living in. That is the entire purpose of money. It's simply a talisman, and it's a mechanism of control. Money is one of the most important things in all of our lives. We need this stuff for anything and everything that we wish to do. If we don't have this stuff, we are homeless, left out to fend for ourselves in the wilds of this once wonderful planet that has now been raped by corporate interests. Whereas if it wasn't for the corporate interests and the ruling bloodlines and the ruling factions that put this system in place, the world wouldn't be in the dreadful raped state that it's in. We would not have all of these starving countries. All of it, folks, it's all done by design. Look around you at the world. Have a look at the state of Africa and places like this, folks. These countries didn't become that way from their own mismanagement. They were doing fine before we came along and decided to open up free trade deals with them. Before we came along to native civilizations that were living in perfect harmony with the earth, and we decided that they need to be civilized and shown the Christian way, and we have completely and utterly destroyed all of their countries. And as I've been saying all through this program, the reason all this is happening is because we are doing it. We are the ones driving the machine. Sure, there are the puppeteering hands at the top, but ultimately we do this to ourselves. We do it to ourselves because of this mindset that we have, this fear-based mindset. Because this entire society that we've constructed for ourselves and our entire way of dealing with the planet is from a center of fear, because we approach things with the intention of exploiting or profiting or bettering ourselves at the expense of somebody else in some way. This is how we approach every issue. This is how we approach every new country that we've ever gone into. For a lot of people, it's how they also approach a new friendship. How can I benefit by knowing this person? How will it make my life better by knowing this person? All of these approaches are centered in fear. Everything about our societies is centered in fear. And when an entire consciousness is constricted into a state of fear and bases its entire reality from a perception of fear, this is the type of reality that gets created. This entire global situation can be completely attributed to false ego manufacturing a false threat. There's actually a film that I've got on my website, and it's also on my YouTube channel, by a man called Ben Stewart, a very enlightened young man. It's a great film. It's called Kymatica. I really do suggest that you watch it if you haven't seen it. You can go to his website, talismanicidols.org. You can get there by simply clicking the Kymatica link on my homepage, KYM, Kymatica. It is very much worth watching. He talks a lot about this fear, which Ben refers to as a psychic parasite that is taken over our mindset. Very, very interesting film. I actually intend to have Ben on the show to talk about Kymatica and whatever projects he's working on now, sometime within the next couple of weeks, but I've been very busy. I've got a lot going on this week. I've got shows every day on various stations around the place, so I've just got to sort of try to fit it all in with a very busy schedule at the moment. But I am working on having him coming on the show anyway. So yes, folks, we need to fix this system. Unfortunately, in this environment, we all need money to survive, and money should be completely unnecessary. And having said that, the Crow House also needs money to survive, so if you ever do feel like making a small donation there, all of the donations are used to continue the flow of this information, so if you can help, it's always very much appreciated and it's always very much needed, because I really try to make sure the information never stops flowing. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you again, folks. I think we're about out of time for this week's show. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I do very much enjoy talking to you. And I thank you again for putting up with my meanderings that I seem to get into on the shows lately. I don't really come in with anything prepared for the last few shows. I've just sort of really had a lot of heartfelt issues I wanted to talk to you about, and so that's the approach that I've been giving to the shows for the last month or so. So thank you for listening, and thank you for putting up with them. I'll try to get things a little bit more structured maybe in future, but just try to remember to stay into your heart, folks, and step away from the fear and lead by example. That hopefully is the message that people take away from this show today, is to center yourself in the correct emotional state and to lead by example. So thank you all for listening, and I will speak to you again next week. In Lakesh.